Sony. I don't even know what to say anymore.
This is your captain speaking. If you look out to your left, you'll see a beautiful view of the Grand Canyon.
Told you we could fly!
Oh, the Star Cruise,
When we last saw Venom/Eddie, they were in Mexico, hiding out from the law, fugitives from the law, thanks to the events of Let There Be Carnage. The multiverse shenanigans are quickly dealt with at the start of the movie, so that gets out of the road, and that just allows this movie to be this movie. I believe Venom has a line saying, "I'm so done with this multiverse crap," or something like that. So that was a bit of an in-joke there. That was quite funny. Plot reasons propel them on a bit of a road trip from Mexico to New York via Las Vegas and Area 51, while avoiding some scary space monster, symbiote hunter things. Can't remember what they're called, but yeah, they've been set loose to hunt down Venom by the big bad Null, who is this like big evil cosmic guy at the end of the universe. Not going to say too much more on that plot-wise. That might be a bit of a spoiler. Juno Temple and Chiwetel Ejiofor are also on board as a genetic scientist and angry soldier general man, respectively. They all cross paths. There's a MacGuffin plot device about this thing called the Codex, which is like inside Venom and is only visible when he fully transforms. Again, not going to say too much more on that plot spoiler-wise. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the story. They have to go on this road trip. They bump into the soldier guys and the scientist guys in Vegas and at Area 51. And, you know, that's the story. It's pretty thin, plot-wise. There's not a lot to it. Tom Hardy is good as Venom and as Eddie Brock. Again, he's probably the best thing in these movies. When it's Venom and Eddie just kind of bantering with each other, that's clearly, like by a country mile, the best parts of all of these movies, Venom The Last Dance being no exception. He's clearly got an affinity for this character, for the character of Venom. Otherwise, you know, other than the money, why would he be doing 3 of these movies? Juno Temple, who is brilliant in Ted Lasso, kind of feels like she's in a different movie here. She's doing like a separate thing. She's given a bit of a backstory through flashbacks that seem like they're going to be important and they're going to lead somewhere, and they don't. Chiwetel Ejiofor, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name, but he is his job in this movie is basically he's basically Basil Exposition. If you remember the Austin Powers movies, his job seems to be to just like dump all this like plot exposition as best as he can, and then, you know, be an angry soldier general guy. That's pretty much it. He's given nothing to do other than the exposition dumps and, you know, to be soldier in charge guy. There's a side character played by Rhys Ifans, kind of a hippy-dippy alien Area 51 nut job. He's there in a camper van with his family for a fair chunk of the movie. Again, this feels like it's in a different movie. It feels like it doesn't belong in this movie at all. It feels like it was a one-scene cameo joke that was like stretched to like, you know, a third of the movie. Maybe not a third of the movie, but yeah, it's odd. His whole character and his family and his scenes, they're very odd. It just feels bizarre and unnecessary universe-wise. So we know that Venom is part of the MCU multiverse because he was in the end of No Way Home. We know that Rhys Ifans, who plays the Lizard in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe, and also thanks to No Way Home in the Tom Holland MCU universe, he's there. He exists as that character. Chiwetel Ejiofor plays Baron Mordo in the MCU and in both Doctor Strange movies. So it kind of begs the question, like, did Sony, the guys at Sony, the guys who are making this, the casting people, the writers, the directors, the producers, like, did they even consider that when they were casting this movie? Did they even know? Did they care? It just seems like, given the multiverse shenanigans and given that I think we're still in the multiverse saga, like, casting these actors in different roles in the MCU multiverse, but not acknowledging it or something like that. It feels like a missed opportunity, but also B, I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if the casting people and the people in charge didn't know or didn't care about that aspect of it, which kind of feels like I said, a missed opportunity, but also a little bit of a slap in the face to the fans. I can't be the only one who thought that, you know, given the multiverse storylines and whatnot. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, were you expecting there to be a connection with the Reese Ifans character and the Chiwetel Ejiofor character, or not? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Michelle Williams, who was in the first two Venom movies, isn't in this one. I do feel like her presence, or her lack of presence, is felt in this movie. To be fair though, story-wise, I don't know if there'd be much for her to do in this. All I do know is that, you know, Michelle Williams is a great actress. The fact that she was in the first two Venom movies was a good thing for those first two Venom movies. The fact that she's not in the third Venom movie is a bad thing for the third Venom movie. Script-wise, dialogue-wise, as I mentioned, there is some unbelievably heavy exposition dumps from Chiwetel and from Juno Temple. Clunky exposition dumps. It feels like they've just given them a script, pages in the morning, and said, okay, we need to convey all of this information in this walk and talk, so go. And that seems to be, you know, all those two actors were given to do. Tone-wise, pace-wise, it's a bit of a mixed bag. As I said, the Reese Ifans character, his camper van scenes with his family, tonally just seemed like a completely different movie. Pace-wise, it also slows down the movie quite a bit. I think you could cut the camper van scenes and most of the Vegas scenes out of the movie. It would make the movie shorter. Not that it feels too long, but it would make it shorter. And I think it would make it a little bit pacier, because you could cut those scenes and you wouldn't lose anything from the movie. It just seems like they had ideas for scenes that they thought would be funny, and so they just like shot them and put them in the script and, you know, left them in, even though they don't make a lot of sense. Cinematography-wise, sound design, CGI-wise, that's all fine. It's nothing spectacular, but yeah, you know, it's fine. Speaking of fine, a wee sub to the channel would be fine. So if you haven't guessed it already, not a huge fan of Venom The Last Dance. There's a couple of cool action sequences in the movie. Specifically the one at Area 51 towards the end, the action choreography in that was quite cool. There's multiple symbiote characters, which I think die-hard fans of the comic will get a kick out of. Other than that, there's not much to like, I'm afraid. Sony thinks they have like a Deadpool level character and equivalent movies on their hands here. They don't at all. They even have a Deadpool and Wolverine style nostalgia baiting montage at the end of this movie, which is completely misjudged. The Venom movies have only been around since 2018, I think. There's only been 3 of these movies. The Fox Marvel universe, that was like, you know, the homage, the kind of montage at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. The Fox Marvel universe has been around since like 2000 or 2001, a couple of dozen movies. Not all of them great, for sure, but they earned that like nostalgia montage with the Green Day song at the end of that one. The Venom movies, there's only been 3 of them for the past 5 or 6 years. The Venom movies, Sony, you did not earn this wee montage thing. You're trying, you know, it's like you're trying to force the audience to feel a certain way, using like, you know, Memories by, is it Maroon 5, I think, and, you know, the montage, you know, scenes from the various 3 movies. It's poor. It's kind of transparent, and it's just, you know, it's embarrassing. So yeah, please don't do that crap. None of the Venom movies have been anything more than just okay. I did quite like the first one. It wasn't amazing, but it was just okay. The second one was less than okay, and the third one, I don't think the third one's quite as poor as the second one. It's maybe on a par with the first one, but even at that, like, all they are is okay. Not absolutely terrible, but just okay. But they make money, so we get sequels. Sony's like the kid in the street who owns the football, so they have to be allowed to play the game. Otherwise, you would never want to play the game with them. But it's their ball, so they get to play. Sony owns these characters, or the rights to these characters, so they get to make the movies. It doesn't mean they make good movies. It doesn't mean we massively enjoy these movies, but it's the only Venom movie that we're getting because Sony owns it. So That's what we get. I just want Sony to make better movies with these characters. Like, we deserve better movies with these characters. We deserve a better Venom movie than what we've been given. Morbius, Madam Web, the Venom movies, none of these movies are great. Some of them are downright terrible. Looking at you, Madam Web. I mean, I would trade in all those movies. I would trade in Morbius, Madam Web, and all 3 Venom movies. I would trade them in, erase them from existence, and give us a third amazing, give us a third Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie, give us a 4th Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. Just give us better movies, Sony. Please, give us better movies. You have the rights to these ultra cool characters, these fan favourite characters, but you're giving us these mediocre movies. So stop doing that. Give us better movies. Put these characters in better movies, please. But you know, who knows? Kraven the Hunter might end up being a masterpiece. So I'm going to go with 5 out of 10 for Venom The Last Dance. It's maybe on a par with the first Venom movie, not quite as poor as the second Venom movie. I think for context, I would probably give the first Venom movie 6 out of 10, but 2 and 3, Carnage and Last Dance, I would give 5 out of 10. Like I said, at best, these Venom movies are just okay. But make no mistake, this isn't Marvel Studios MCU movies. It's not even Fox Marvel movies. This is Sony Marvel, and it shows. That's us, folks. Thanks very much for watching. If you want to see more content like this, you can always subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.